Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by. Hold your hand. I guess it's by the Beatles. We got a dude here who's going to hold the hand of real estate investors. How does that sound, huh, Dean?
That sounds pretty cute.
Well, you said you're a little unique as it comes to real estate coaching because you actually walk them through. I'm going to put the term of handhold them all the way through the process, which is pretty unique. We have a lot of gurus here, a lot, and sometimes they might be a little busy, so they might not be able to handhold, which you do. So let's get right to it. Why you? Why are you hanging out with us, and why are you special as far as it comes with respect to teaching real estate investors?
Wow, why am I special? I won't claim that I'm special. I just will definitely say that I'm the type of person, coming from a sports background. I'm willing to do the work, and I think a lot of people, they just want the easy button. They want everything to just magically work and make $1 million instantly. And look, this is like any other business, like any other thing in life that is worth fighting for. You got to put in the work, but um, what I love about real estate, and you obviously know this, Kenner, is there's so much opportunity. There's endless opportunity, and the ground floor to get in is like no other business. Like the entry level to get in is so easy. So yeah, that's my deal. And for me, I take a different approach than most coaches and other coaching programs that are out there. Most people, you come into the community and you're kind of handed off to someone else, right? And the person that attracted you to receive the information, to spend time with that person, you don't actually get to. And that's where I kind of flip things on its head, because I've gone through lots of different programs and I've received lots of great guidance and advice and help throughout the years. But what I noticed when I was kind of put in a situation where people were asking for it, I wasn't even thinking about it. People were asking for my help and asking for mentorship. I realized that I'm the type of person I like to be hands-on. I like to help you through that type of stuff.
Wow. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack there. Wait a minute. You just jumped over the fact that you said something about sports. So wait a minute. Are you like me where you peaked as a semi-pro football player, basically in high school, one of the only in Washington State to have done that? Or are you saying you're a professional tiddlywink guy, or what do they call it? Cornhole? Wait a minute. You just threw that out there. What did you mean by that?
Yeah. So my story is I started my career in the NFL. So going back to my playing days, I went through my journey through high school and college to actually make it to play for the San Diego Chargers in the NFL, and it was an incredible experience. It was pretty surreal the whole time, and it's not like I went to the biggest college and I was, 5-star recruit and all that kind of stuff. Dude, I had the journey to get there too. I was overlooked in high school and played running back, and then I got recruited to go play college, and not by all the schools that I had dreamt of. It was different schools that were looking at me, and I got an opportunity to go play at UC Davis, and had a great career there, and started to get recognized by scouts and all that stuff. And sure enough, when it came to my senior year, I ended up talking to about 12 different teams, and then the draft happened and all that kind of stuff, and I ended up going to the San Diego Chargers. So that was really cool.
Yeah, holy mackerel. So you are a little bit more studly than me. We've already identified that. So, if that's possible, by the way. So, okay. So I'm sure that
That's
did.
hard to accomplish.
Yeah. I'm sure that did prepare you for a life of, after the NFL. Meaning, I'm sure you learned a lot of key stuff about working with the team, et cetera, et cetera. There's no doubt about that. So, let's add some value to the people who are listening and watching. Again, most of the people who are listening and watching are from all over the country. They're real estate investors. Some of them might be, they want to take it to the next level. They might need some coaching. So, let's add some value to one of those people. Let's say they live in California, where I think you are now. What's one thing a real estate investor who wants to take to the next level should be thinking about? What's the one thing? We need to add some value here there, buddy.
So, dude, the secret sauce for me has been over time, and it's kind of funny and ironic because I this was a missing piece for me in my real estate career, which I've been doing this for 10 years now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Done playing football 12 years ago. And now for 10 years, I've been doing real estate. And I grew up my whole life to get to the NFL, to get to that level. I didn't do it alone. I put in the work, but I didn't do it alone. I had coaches on coaches on coaches on coaches. I had coaches for weightlifting. I had coaches for speed training, agility, and for catching the ball and for offense. And there was coaches, like so many different coaches that I had and that were really important for my growth and my success. But when it came to real estate and starting my career there, I tried to do it all on my own. And part of it was myself getting in my own way. I told myself the lies that, you know what? You were just in the NFL. You're supposed to be some big hot shot. You're supposed to have it all figured out and have all the money in the world. Going and asking for help is going to make you look weak. It's going to make you look like you're a deadbeat, a broke ass who can't figure things out. And so I told myself, I got to figure this out on my own. I've got to be successful in this new career and new industry before I start asking for help. That's the story I told myself. And I can tell you, I wasted a lot of years of making mistakes and doing the wrong things. And look, I put in the work and went all out and was obsessed from day one when I found real estate, because I saw it was the vehicle that could get me back to that dream life I saw was possible in the NFL. So I was like, okay, this is it. This is the vehicle. And when I went all out, I started to get results, but at certain points throughout my early years, I rushed into some decisions and made some really big mistakes. And they were soul crushing, absolutely gut punch, getting knocked on your back, and lost a lot of money on a few decisions I made on doing the wrong deals. And so when I came out of, spending 4 to 5 years of kind of like what felt like going in a circle, I came out and was like, okay, enough's enough. I got to raise my hand. I got to ask for help. I got to surrender to this. And I started seeking out guidance from other people that were successful, that did have coaching programs, that were able to provide training. And that's when I started to have the breakthroughs, and I started to really get the traction, and I was able to stay focused because I had clear direction from someone else that had a proven path of success. And ever since doing that, the doors have just been open, and I've just been successful in getting the results I wanted to ever since doing that. So to me, the secret sauce was like, dude, even if you're doing really well, there's always help and guidance and coaching that you need to continue to get better. And if you're definitely not where you want, you need it more than anybody else, and it's who you spend time with, who you are around. As you know, we're in a mastermind together. Like, dude, just by being in that mastermind, the information that I've gotten, the relationships that I've built, has just opened up so many doors. And the more that you can do that, the more that you're going to be successful.
Yeah, so I think what you're saying is you can go to you'll handhold them, kidding aside, you'll handhold the students, if you call them students, and they'll learn from all your mistakes. And so you now are obviously on the other end of those mistakes. And I know you've reaped some obviously success. So that's the deal. That's the reason to work with you. I get it. So by the way, what's an engagement look like? What's it like to be a student? How does one get a hold of you, et cetera?
Yeah. So the students that join into the community, it's you're joining into a family, right? You've got other people who are right where you're at. Some are going to be above, some are going to be below where you're at, or right in the middle with where you're at. And um, as we all are collectively trying to get better, just being in an environment like that is going to make you better,
Yeah.
make you more accountable, just in itself. Now, the structure of it is when a student joins, we have all of my training, of course, what I teach of what we do in our business every single day, of what's working for us. And that training, you go through at your own pace. But the difference of where the value really comes through is, besides the information, is I'm on calls with you and the rest of the group several times throughout the week,
Hmm.
every single week, and we're getting better together, right? We're training, we're getting better at how we're negotiating, we're working on how can we get our marketing better,
Hmm.
we're problem solving through deals that we're working on, we're doing deal analysis together. And even more than that is I give all my students my cell phone and I say,
Hmm.
reach out to me as much as you need to. I really love it when my students reach out to me, because that means
Hmm.
you're getting progress, you're moving forward. A lot of coaching programs that I've been a part of, there's kind of an arm's length distance. You have to schedule a call, save your question for a later time, and a lot of times you need those answers now. Those deals that I
Hmm.
rushed into, I felt the anxiety of, man, I just need to do this next deal. I need to do it.
Hmm.
I need to make this money that my numbers on this spreadsheet say I'm going to make. So I rushed into those decisions without asking somebody, hey, what do you think about this? What do you see the same numbers? What questions am I not asking? And by having somebody you can lean on like that and help problem solve with you. And for me, I've done, over 650 deals at the time of recording this, and, have an 8-figure rental portfolio, and all these things that I've accomplished through all these years of hard work of making mistakes and figuring it out. The biggest skill that I have is problem solving at this point.
Yeah.
So I can help you problem solve through these things to help shortcut the time it takes for you to learn, to help shortcut the time it takes for you to get the results you're looking for, and to help minimize the mistakes that you might make, just like I did,
Hmm.
trying to do it on my own.
Plus,
So
I would also think
that's,
your connections, because I know you're well connected from the sounds of it. I would think that's a big thing by being in the network, because your connections, that network, I bet you has some studly connections. I mean, meaning I should say your community. I mean, kind of all that stuff combined, plus being able to pick up the phone and maybe even you do a joint venture with your students, has got to be all good, you know?
yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's just knowing knowing the right people, right? Hey,
Mm.
I need to do this thing. Boom, call this person, and that takes care of what you need. So that's definitely part of it too.
Mm. And so, how does someone get a hold of you? Do you have a website? What's a community email or whatever?
Yeah. So anybody that's interested in connecting, I always tell everybody that I'm a real person. I like to connect with as many people as possible. So if you're hearing this and you want to connect, you guys can always shoot me a DM on Instagram,
Mm.
which is at Dean Rogers Real Estate. I love connecting with new people on there and staying connected. So reach out to me on Instagram. And if you guys are interested in the coaching program, finding out more about that, you guys can also go to deanrogers.com. You'll see, all sorts of information on there. There's a place where you can fill out an application and watch a video a little bit more about the program, and see if it's a good fit. So
And how do you spell Dean Rogers?
yeah, so it's DeanRogers.com.
All right, so you're a problem solver. I like that. So give us a case study of a problem that you've solved for one of your students that's totally added value.
Yeah. So here's literally like a perfect story for that. So one of my students, who's a great hustler and very eager to get success and results. He reached out to me one day on a Sunday. Okay, and he had messaged me through text, said, "Hey, I've got a seller who just got back to me, and he said he wants to sell his house, and asked me, what can you do for me?"
Mm.
Okay. Now, he asked if I could help him in this situation. Now, this is a Sunday. Okay. This is a Sunday. I'm out with my family. I could easily and maybe rightfully tell him, hey, let's connect during business hours,
Mm.
right? At that given time, I had some flexibility to jump on the phone. So for me, being passionate and loving to do deals and loving to help my students, jumped on the phone with him, and I came to understand that this property was a deal he was working on. The seller was in pre-foreclosure. Okay, they were about to lose their house,
Hmm.
and he had originally connected with this seller early on in the process, but the seller had neglected to do anything, and it was now 2 days before the auction date. Okay, it
Ooh.
was Sunday. The auction was on Tuesday. To make it even more interesting and exciting, Monday was a holiday.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So it's like, how are we going to stop this foreclosure? How are we going to get this deal done? It seemed impossible. Well, I told him, look, the only way that you're going to be able to get this deal done and stop the foreclosure and allow you to continue finishing the escrow process is if you do X, Y, and Z. So I gave him the exact steps that he needed to do perfectly. And I also let him know, look, even if you do these things, it doesn't guarantee that it's going to work, because the bank can still say, hey, too late. Sorry.
Yep.
Right. So he did the work. He did the next steps. He actually contacted the escrow officer that he was going to work with on that Sunday, and he didn't even have her phone number. Right. He went to her on Facebook and DM'd her. She responded, said, yes, I can jump on the phone. They did some discovery on Sunday. They also did some more work on the holiday on Monday. Okay. So he connected with the right person, who is someone I recommended for him to use, the same escrow officer I use. And then on Tuesday, he had to literally do everything perfect to basically provide a notice to the servicing company of this foreclosure and attempt to put a stop to it. So right out the gate Tuesday morning, he did everything that he needed to, took all the actions and the steps, and they still hadn't heard back yet before the auction. And it was literally about an hour before the auction was about to take place midday.
Okay.
He even went down to, because another option is to file a bankruptcy as a seller and to put a pause
Hold
on
on.
it.
Yep.
So he even went down with the seller to the bankruptcy office, who said that he needed to pay them $3,000 cash, not credit, but $3,000 cash, in order for them to even put any attention on it. And he was there about ready to make payment, and then just 30 minutes before the auction, the initial things that he had done to put a stop, he got an email and notification saying the auction has been postponed. So the things that he did put a stop on that. Okay, postpone the auction. He then was able to see through to the end and see the deal through, take it through escrow, get it all done. He ended up wholesaling that deal to another investor, which is what I was, instructing him to do. And he ended up making $25,000 on that deal. Okay.
Nice.
Now that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like that right there, for that person to make $25,000 was a huge win for him. And you can pinpoint it back to at that moment on that Sunday, had we not connected and we not problem solved together and given him a solution on how to solve that problem, then it wouldn't have been solved. It would have gone to auction and the deal would have been dead. Right. And to me, that's the stuff, as I tell that kind of story, I get goosebumps, because that's the stuff that really fires me up, gets me excited. And having those kind of breakthroughs is so fun. And to share those kind of wins with students is awesome. So,
dude, that's a great case study. I mean, that shows so much. One, it shows that you've added value. Two, it shows that you do, as the opening dictates, you do handhold your clients or students. Wow, that's a very good case study. Wow. So you brought up a couple of things there I'm going to ask you some questions about. So it seems as though every real estate investor, or maybe even coach, has kind of a niche. And you mentioned, foreclosure. I mean, you mentioned a number of things there. Is that your niche, the foreclosure? Do you do commercial? I mean, what's kind of the perfect world for you as it relates to real estate investing?
Yeah, my bread and butter is in single family homes.
Got it.
Okay, so I focus on single family homes. Any exit strategy is what I do all day, every day. So I wholesale, I flip, I buy rentals. I focus on my students because I truly, passionately feel that the best way to get started and scale your real estate investing business is with wholesaling.
Okay.
Because with wholesaling, you can truly build a repeatable, consistent business, right? When you get into flipping houses or buying rentals, that's a completely different business. And I recommend doing those strategies, and I help my students through those strategies and give them the guidance and help. But first and foremost, I believe a good foundation for a real estate investing business is wholesaling, because you truly specialize and focus on finding good deals and negotiating good deals.
Mm-hmm.
Those two skill sets right there, if you can be hyper focused and not spending all of your time project managing and placing tenants and doing all that stuff, but if you can fundamentally focus on finding good deals and negotiating good deals, you can write the ticket to any type of deal that you want, right?
Mm.
You are developing the two most important skills that most people lack. Most people that I sell my deals to are completely blown away and don't understand how I find these deals. Case in point, there was a deal that we just
Mm.
closed just before 4th of July last Wednesday, and we made $90,000 on that deal. We didn't
Ooh.
own it for one day. We didn't lift a hammer. We didn't hire a construction crew. We wholesaled the deal and got it at such a good price because we negotiated it so well, and left an opportunity for that next investor to make a good profit. And as a result, we made $90,000. Now, being able to find the deal, negotiate the deal, and make that kind of money in a short period of time and not have to wait 3, 4, 5, 6 months to flip it is able to inject that cash back into our business quicker and then reinvest it and grow and do more deals and get better results, in my opinion. So
Mm.
and to do all that with less risk, with less stress and headaches of dealing with contractors and all the mistakes that go with that, and dealing with the market changes. And so there's so much that I could go on and on about that, but that's the strategy that I lead with and focus on when teaching my students.
Got it. Got it. So really what makes you different? I mean, one that, again, going back to your story, that case example, that illustrates how you're different. So it sounds as though you're kind of the wholesale guy, hand holding, which is a really big deal. Obviously under the arch of real estate in general. And what about foreclosures? Give me a little bit more. So is that a big percentage of your deal? Foreclosures?
No, that's just a I call it a seller situation. That's a problem, right? We're dealing with motivated sellers,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the focus is that we're looking to find motivated sellers, people who
Mm-hmm.
need our help, right? We're not the 95% of real estate transactions that go
No,
on the
no, no.
MLS, sold with a realtor, that are move-in ready. These are problem properties that have all sorts of issues. So the
Mm-hmm.
common issues are foreclosure, inheriting a house, tenant problems.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's physical distress to the property, right? It's been neglected. The house is vacant. The house has been damaged by a tenant or family. There's all sorts of common situations that we come up against time and time again, and foreclosures just happens to be one of them.
And what type of system do you have in place for finding those? Because that's a lot of work. That's how I've found my commercial properties. The ones I've found, because I look for people who don't wanters, as I call them, people who want to get rid of the property or they're back on their taxes. And I never really had a really good system, which I should. But what type of a system do you have in place for finding those people?
Yeah, for me, it's all about getting in front of these sellers with marketing, right,
Mm.
and getting this marketing right in front of them. So the system is really me teaching my students what are the things that I'm doing that are working the best to get in front
Mm-hmm.
of people that are motivated. And so this could be as simple as strategic networking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds too simple, sounds too obvious, but when you can do it a certain way, it's very highly effective.
Mm.
This could be direct mail marketing, sending letters to targeted people's houses that are likely more willing and able to sell because they do need help. This could be certain targeted ads online to get in front of people who are searching for these solutions, who
Mm.
are literally going into Google and are searching. I need to sell my house for cash, right? Looking for a cash buyer. those different types of examples are the things that we're doing,
Got it.
and helping the students learn how to do it too.
And that's part of the handle. You actually walk them down that path.
Yeah, show them in all the training videos, and then as we're on our weekly calls as well, we're talking about this kind of stuff all the time, getting feedback from other students, right? Just on our coaching call yesterday, several of the students were talking about how they received some new leads that they're going on appointments for because of the direct mail that they sent out, or this online ad that they had placed. And now that they just went on the appointment looking to make an offer, or just got a deal under contract, another student got a deal under contract on Monday. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's just really fun for me. And what I focused on when I got started is, how do I make my phone ring with people who are interested and motivated to sell their house?
Yeah, you mentioned contracts. I was going to ask you about that. Is that part of the thing, part of the gig, meaning you get contracts if you're a student of yours, or how does that work?
Yeah, you basically get everything that I'm using in my business. So all of the contracts, all of the processes that we follow, all the marketing strategies, all of our negotiation scripts that our team uses. How do we, what type of questions are we asking? What kind of process are we taking the seller through to put ourselves in the best position to help them and to find a win-win, where the seller gets a deal that helps them, we get a great deal where it makes sense for us financially and good business sense.
I got it. Wow. So you get everything. It's a whatever soup to nuts thing, hand holding, get a philosophy, get a system. Everything's all wrapped up in the coaching gig with deanrogers.com. It sounds like.
Yep, that's right.
Got it.
And dude, I mean, you know this, Kenner, like there's so much information out there, right? You can go on YouTube and you could watch it till your eyes start bleeding. And there is going to be good information out there too, but it's really the implementation that people are missing, right? You're using the word hand holding, which is definitely a good visual of how this looks and feels, but people need help with the implementation, and they need that ongoing help. And when you can combine that with a bunch of people who are just fired up, excited to collaborate, win, and cheer each other on, dude, that's freaking fun right there. Now you're a part of something and a part of a movement, and you're focused on finding success. You're focused on improving your life with other people at the same time. That's where the magic happens.
It's funny. I think you're right. There's a lot of information out there, but everyone kind of needs an accountability partner. I was a partner in a group where, we had a number of people under us. They put a bunch of money in all these accounts, and I forgot the exact number, but 95% of them basically didn't invest, but they were hoping to. So there were only 5% of the assets that were deployed. So think about that. So everyone's learning in this group. Everyone's learning stuff, but they weren't actually they weren't implementing anything. They weren't working. It takes a little bit of work. There's no doubt. And if you have an accountability partner, I guess like you or your group, it will make a big difference, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cause if you got somebody who's expecting you to do the work, who is there on the calls with you, then, I get messages from my students. Hey, I'm not going to be able to make the call today. I have a doctor's appointment, or I have this thing going on, and they're reaching out because they know that if they're not there, they're going to feel like they're not following through, and they're missing out. Right.
Yeah. All right. So, we only have a few minutes left. So let's say we're by the goal line. Think of an analogy for you, right? What's one thing we've talked about or that we have not talked about that can add value to the listeners or viewers that you think really needs to be told just before we get off this call?
I think what needs to be told, and I usually like to talk about this, is, it's easy for people to listen to podcasts and to see other people that have had success and say, well, they're just different than me, right? And honestly, after doing this for this many years and being in a part of these masterminds and groups, there's not like one type of person that just seemingly is the one having success. It's not like I go into the room and, there's a cookie cutter of myself or Kenner, and we all look the same and act the same and come from the same background. Just like sports, we all come from different walks of life. we grew up in different parts of the country. We grew up with different family structures, with different financial, starts. Some doing well, some doing, awful, and, growing up in terrible situations. So it doesn't matter where you're at right now. It doesn't matter where you came from. What matters is what you're going to do going forward.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this and you're feeling something inside, then it's probably talking directly to you, and it's probably something you need to hear. And the reality is you're just a couple steps away from starting to get in the direction that you want to go. And I touched on this already, but dude, there's no silver bullet. There's no secret recipe. There's no secret sauce. Are there certain strategies that others do better that some do better than others? Absolutely. And that's why it's important to, look around and see who is having the success you want. And really what it comes down to is just putting in the work and doing it consistently, because there's going to be a million different people that have different experiences, different results. Some people are going to have it very quick. Some people are going to be very slow. But we're not here to compare ourselves against others. We're just here to look at ourselves and see our forward progress. And I know it's just, if we do the work and we do it consistently and we're doing the right stuff with some help and guidance, you're going to get there a lot faster. So yeah, if you're listening to this and you're just feeling like, man, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not in the direction, go find someone that is and follow them and be around that person, and you're going to start getting a lot more traction.
I would agree, man. Everything you've said, I think, makes perfect sense. I mean, real estate, number one, makes sense. Number two, have an accountability partner, networking with people learning from someone who's, been through the mistakes, who's had the mistakes like you have, and probably a lot of people in your group. And then if you have the will to do it and you put in the work, you're probably going to succeed. That's a great way to end this, man. I really appreciate you being here. And I think the people who are watching and listening to this are going to see value in some of the things that we've talked about. And this has been a good, 25 minutes. I really appreciate you being here.
For sure. I love talking about this stuff, super passionate about it. So any chance I can, I love to. So thanks for having me on.
Sweet. Hey, for all those guys out there, go to deanrogers.com, go to his Instagram, or if you have any questions, obviously you can go to vastsolutionsgroup.com. We're here to help you as well. We could get you in touch with Big Dean. For everyone, again, this is Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really appreciate everyone spending time. It's been awesome.